Welcome to the Network Marketing 910 class, week 3, part 1. Today we're going to be talking about the 30-second elevator pitch. And this is something that's going to be really important. You're going to really master this because this is something that every business owner needs to be able to clearly explain what they do when someone says, "What do you do?" Or even just be able to pitch someone very quickly, "This is what I do." And we'll talk more about the components of a 30-second elevator pitch. But you'll be surprised how powerful this can be when it's done correctly. And right now, you're working on your warm market. We're going to kind of discuss this in a more of a cold market form, right? And how you would approach a warm market versus a cold market might be slightly different. We'll talk a little bit about that as we go through. But what is a 30-second elevator pitch? What does it consist of? Basically, in 30 seconds, you need to be able to explain to people, okay, what you do, why that is important for them, not you. Oftentimes we try to tell people why what we do is important to us. Why is it important to them? Give them a hook, and then give them some contact information. Make sure you've got theirs or they've got your information, and basically who you are. And we're going to break these down and talk more about these in detail today. But first, what do you do? Okay, this is probably one of the most important things, is to be honest. And this is where I feel like network marketers sometimes struggle with this approach, because every time a network marketer approaches me, it's like they're trying to avoid they're trying to avoid being a network marketer. And they're trying to make it sound like they're not a network marketer. And right off the get-go, what does that do to trust?
Burns it.
Burns the trust. What's the most important sales tactic you have? Trust. That's it. If they don't trust you, you've got trust or you've got motivation or emotions. That's pretty much logic too. I mean, but really the trust. If you don't have trust, even the emotions can be high. They're not going to purchase. Some will, some don't. The emotional buyers, right? But who do you want in your downline? Do you want an emotional, reactive person in your downline that just reacts based on emotions, or do you want someone in your downline that reacts and makes decisions based on logic, trust, reasoning, and sound information, right? And so be honest. Trust is key. If you are unsure of what to say or how to say it, it's going to come across as doubtful. And so if we're stumbling over our words, if we're trying to figure out what to say next or how to complete the sentence, that our idea in our head and get our ideas out of our mouth, it can actually sound like you don't know what you're talking about. And then if you sound doubtful in what you're saying, what's that going to do to trust? Okay, and so having this 30-second elevator pitch down, perfect, where you can easily say, easily adjust it, make it fit other people, is really important. So practice is key to make sure you can really communicate the information clearly, confidently. Be confident and excited to do what you do, okay? If someone says, "Are you network marketing?" say, "Yeah, it's so awesome," right? Instead of, "Well, I'm not, no, I mean, I'm more of a direct sales person," okay? It's all the same. If you're an MLM, a network marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call it, don't try to bounce around and dance around the idea of being a network marketing. Be excited, be proud, be confident in a network marketer, being a network marketer, because confidence attracts people. People are always attracted to confidence. And if you lose your confidence in what you do, you just lost a sale or a partner or whatever you're trying to do, right? Why is that important for them? So why is what you're doing, what you're talking about, why is that important to other people? What is it, if you have a health product, why is that health product important to other people? Any ideas? Everyone's quiet today.
Because people are struggling to get healthy, and so it's not easy to be healthy these days.
And what are people's biggest pain is physical health for most people. Everyone's got a physical pain almost. Very few people are perfect physically health. Like, they all have a physical health issue in one way or another. Sometimes it's weight, sometimes it's achy joints, sometimes it's something wrong with an organ. But everyone has health. It seems like everyone has a health problem or a concern. And so if you're selling a health product, that would be important to them, right? But again, if you're selling, someone was given the example that they were talking to someone about health, and the person was overweight, and like it didn't look like they took care of their health very well, or even cared about their health. And the person's like, does it look like I care about my health? Why are you telling me this? So just because a person may look like they could use some health benefits, they may not be interested in health benefits. So that's where you want to approach them from a different angle. Maybe it's finances. Maybe, most people struggle with finances, most people struggle in relationships, most people struggle with health. And so those three areas are pretty much common as why is it important to them? How is what you're offering them going to benefit them financially? How's it going to benefit them with their health? How's it going to benefit them in their relationships? Those are probably the three most common, biggest pains for everybody in the world. So how does it fix their pain, their fear, their problem? How is your product, how is your business, how is whatever you're offering them going to help them with that biggest pain, okay? What's your hook? Do you have a hook? When you go fishing, you put some bait on the end of a hook, and sometimes the fish will nibble the bait off the hook and you don't hook them, but they get the benefit of the bait, right? Other times, if you yank the pole just right, you're gonna hook them, and then it's a done deal, right? And that's basically the idea of a hook. You want it to be a done deal. Once you give them that hook, they're not necessarily sold, but you're starting to reel them in, okay? And hooks should be something surprising. This can be a little bit hard, and you have to be careful with the surprise. It doesn't have to be surprising, but if it's a little bit surprising, it's always a good hook. But again, you got to be honest. And right now, a lot of marketing and business in their marketing, they're not being very honest, but they're putting out these amazing hooks that sound almost too good to be true, and people are becoming numb to the surprise that used to be really powerful in it. But if there's a way you can throw a hook in there, is always really neat. Promise a benefit or solution, but make sure you can back that promise. Don't promise unrealistic things. Oh, if you take this, you're going to lose 80 pounds in 30 days. That's not going to happen. I mean, at least I haven't found anything yet that do that. But if your product does that, great, tell them that. But if your product doesn't do that, don't tell them that. If it's, if you don't have a weight loss product, don't tell people they're going to lose weight. Be honest and all that stuff. But if you can promise a benefit or solution, is always good. You can announce new information. So if your business comes up with a new product and it does something new that other products don't do, that's always a good thing to talk about. But make it interesting. Why would they be interested in what you're doing? Because most people are looking to resolve a pain, a fear, or a problem in their life. And so if you can say, hey, this is going to solve one of your pains, one of your problems, that's going to get them interested. And that's going to be that hook that's going to say, okay, I want to learn more information. But remember, it's a tease. Don't give the whole information all at the same time. Sometimes we want to do that because we're not sure what their pain or problem is. So we want to tell them from A to Z everything you know about your business and try to do it in 30 seconds, and it doesn't work. Just hook them, throw out a bait, make it hook, but save it for another time. Remember, most people need to hear something about a product 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10 times before they're ready to buy. If you overload them with information too fast, too much, they're going to just walk away, right? But if you give them a little bit here and let them think about it, a little bit here, let them think about it, a little bit here, let them think about it, that's how you work them through to a conversion, to a sale. Make sense? So remember, your 30-second elevator pitch is just a tease. It's just something to say, hey, here's a little hook to get you interested again. Here's a way to get more information. Okay? So when a customer takes a hook, they're giving you permission to follow up and tell them more. Right? So you gave them a little bit of hook, and now they're saying, hey, here's my information, contact me, call me. They want some more information, okay? So do you have a system set up to do this? If you're talking to someone on the street or on the bus or on the subway or at the store or wherever, and you give your little elevator pitch, and someone says yes, do you have a system to keep track of them? Because if you say, I'm going to send you this video, and you don't send them the video, what happened to trust? Okay? Keep the trust there. Make sure you have a system set up that says, hey, I can take their information. And again, you want to get their information. Why do you want their information instead of you giving them your information?
You don't want them to do the work for you.
You don't want them to do the work for you, right? You're saying, here, do my job and call me when you're interested. And yet another thought. Okay, right? You don't want them doing the job for you. But more importantly, that until they're sold on the product, anything you ask them to do, you're asking a favor of them. Hey, will you take time out of your busy schedule to call me? Who are you? I don't even know who you are, right? That's in a cold call situation. Family and friends, a little bit different. But still, you're asking your friends and family to do you a favor. Because they're not sold on the product yet. You just hooked them. You just got them interested. Then you're asking them to do you a favor. Hey, will you do this, okay? Will you keep track of my business card, or will you keep track of this information and call me in 3 days? Will you remember to call me in 3 days, and will you put forth that time and energy to call me in 3 days? I'm asking a favor of you. Can you do that for me, right? When you're saying, here's my information, contact me, that's really what you're saying. Am I important enough to you to hold on to this information and contact me in 3 days? But if you say, hey, can I have your information? Then now you're in control. And you get to decide, I'm going to call you in 3 days. But if you don't have a system set up to call them in 3 days, and you say you're going to call them in 3 days, and you don't call them in 3 days, they won't trust. Okay? So make sure you have a system set up. Make sure you're getting their information, not just giving them your information. If you're just giving them your information, the chances of them ever calling you is going to be slim to none unless you you sold them on the product in your pitch, which most likely is not going to happen. If 30 seconds elevator pitch is not going to happen.
So I have a great example. I just signed up my child for an activity. I did that online, and I was going to call them to set up the times, and school was just starting, so I waited a while. Well, they ended up calling me and saying, hey, we saw that you signed up. We wanted to get you started. And I'm like, okay, well, let me figure out the times. I got to make sure this isn't happening at this time. And then they're like, okay, yeah, if we don't hear back from you in a few days, we'll give you a call again. I'm like, okay. I mean, they've already got my money.
And they're still
interested.
interested.
Doing it. And they actually do. They called me again. I was actually on the phone. But they did. They followed up. They're doing it. I felt like they cared for me because they're doing it. I didn't feel annoyed, and because I already gave them my money.
Yeah. And so even though they got the sale,
yeah.
they're continuing to take care of their customers, right?
Yes.
Customer retention, customer
Yeah.
satisfaction. They're not just after your money. They want to make sure you got your money and you're being taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's important too. Well, once to keep contacting them and letting them know, but it puts you in control rather than waiting for your environment to do what you want them to do. And we'll talk more about that in some other meetings. But remember, you got to follow up, because that if you don't follow up, you just broke trust right there, and you're pretty much a done deal. So make sure you do that. Who are you? Make sure you have you express your name. You're talking about your name. You may want to say your name a couple times when you first meet them. Hi, I'm Trevor. When you're leaving, thanks for talking to me. It's been a pleasure. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. My name's Trevor, and repeat your name again, right? Because a lot of people don't remember the name the first time you tell them. So try to sneak your name in there a second time if possible, okay? Businesses, what is your business name or phone number, email or something, text something. Let them have a way to contact you if they want to. If it's important enough for them and they're really excited, they may have enough motivation. There may be enough there to contact you. So make sure you give them hand them a business card or something, but don't rely solely on that. You need their information if you want to really be able to convert and find people to do what you want to do. So, all right. So things to avoid. These are some common things I've experienced with network marketers. Not being focused. Okay. One of the things when we don't have our elevator pitch down, when we're not sure what we're going to say, is that sometimes we start to ramble. And we don't really say much of anything because we're just trying to fill dead airspace, okay? So make sure you stay focused, especially when you're nervous. Some personality types will be more of they just tend to ramble a little bit more when they're nervous, and they need to leave time for a response, right? 30-second commercial, and even in between you may want to pause to let them have an opportunity to comment on something you said, ask a question, but stay focused. What do you do? Why is it important to them? How's it going to benefit them? Take away their pain, their problems. their frustrations. Second thing is don't sound like a robot. Oftentimes, if you get this 30-second elevator pitch, there's a level of perfecting it where at first you're not sure how to say it and you're a little bit nervous and you may ramble or you may stumble over your words. Then you kind of move into this robot stage where you sound like a robot because you've got it memorized, but then it kind of sounds like this, and then everyone is thinking you're reading a script even though you're talking on the phone and not reading a script, right? Don't go there. You got to get to that next level where it's natural, it's automatic, it just flows out your mouth. You can change it to fit each person and the situation, and it just flows comfortably, naturally, and automatic, okay? So don't sound like a robot. Don't speak too fast. This is another nervous thing. Some people, when they get really nervous, they talk really, really fast. Slow down, right? Just let it sink in. Don't be afraid of pause. Don't pause too long, but don't be afraid of pause and let what you're telling them, let their brain process it. Some brains process information really, really fast. Some brains process information really, really slow. Okay. With my other business, I was working on a client who her dad had made the appointment. She was going to college and she was coming in from a university to visit me. And the dad just basically said she'd been diagnosed with Asperger's, which is that diagnosis doesn't even exist anymore, but it's like a high functioning autistic kind of diagnosis. And so she comes to my office and I greet her at the door. I'm like, hi, how you doing? And she just stares at me. I'm thinking, oh boy, it's going to be a long day. It's an 8-hour process. It's going to be fun. I said, come in, sit down. So she comes in my office. She sits down across the desk from me, looks at me and says, fine, thanks. How are you? And I was like, what? So I asked her another question and started counting. Took her 30 to 40 seconds to respond to something I verbally told her. She had a 30 or 40 second delay on auditory processing. So it took her brain 30 or 40 seconds to process what I said, make sense of it, and then be able to respond to something. Now, if you have a 30-second elevator pitch and it takes someone 30 seconds to respond to what you just said, that becomes now a 60-second process, right? So that was an extreme version. I've only seen a few of those situations where it's that long. But recognize, some people might take 10 seconds. Some people might take 5 seconds. Some people might take 15 seconds. Everyone's brain works a little bit differently. And if you're talking to someone who is more quiet, who doesn't say a lot, most likely it takes their brain longer to process the information and then get it out their mouth again. Don't go too fast. Talk slower. Give pause. Give them time to process what you just said. Okay? And then the other thing to avoid is not practicing. Okay, if you don't practice, again, you're going to sound like a robot, you're going to stumble over your words, you're not going to know what you're going to say, you're going to create doubt just in how you communicate. Okay, so make sure you practice, practice, practice. You've got to know this 30-second elevator pitch well enough that you can, on the spot, immediately just make it fit whoever you're talking to. Because as you talk to them, you're going to start to recognize certain cues. Are they a thinker or a feeler? Are they an extrovert or the introvert? Do they talk with their hands? Do they talk loud and they're excited? Or do they kind of talk quiet and more slow, right? And can you adjust to fit this so you're not being too overbearing with people? And if you're hitting your warm market, you're going to know a lot of this already if you've been paying attention to the people that you love and care about, okay? If you really haven't been paying attention, you may not know this about your family and friends. But like you may know whether if they're a fast talker, you may not want to leave too much pause or they're going to take over the conversation. If they tend to be a conversation hog and they like to talk a lot, don't leave too much time, or if you pause for a split second, they're going to jump right in there and start and talk over the top of you, right? But some of the stuff you'll know, some of the stuff you don't know, but that's where you've really got to know your 30-second elevator pitch well enough that you can adjust with every single person you talk to and be able to customize it to fit, make it effective, okay? Using highly technical terms, acronyms, or slang. Be really careful with this one. Sometimes this can help. Okay, one of the things, my wife uses this a lot. She's really good at it. People say, what does your husband do? Oh, he's a bit practitioner. Does anybody know what bit is? No one knows what bit is. But she's found that when she says, oh, he's a bit practitioner, then people go, what's bit? Oh, you just asked me to tell you more about my husband, what he does, right? Opens up the door, right? Window, I say, here, well, then she goes on and starts talking about what bit is. brain integration technique, right? And what that does, right? But be careful, like if you're using a lot of big words that most people don't understand, and to you they may sound absolutely normal. Okay, if you go talk to a doctor, they have a different vocabulary, right? If you go talk to an engineer, they have a different vocabulary. If you go talk to a construction, they have a different vocabulary, mostly 4-letter words, but truck drivers, miners, like every industry has their own slang and acronyms they use. Be careful not to make people feel stupid when you're talking about what you're doing. Okay? Because if you're just using a bunch of acronyms and big words and stuff they don't understand, they're going to be like going, what? Well, the occipital lobe in the brain has to connect through the corpus callosum to get to the frontal lobe. And they're like going, I don't know what you're talking about, right? Well, that's just brain stuff. And if you know brain, that makes total sense. But if you don't know brain, you're like going, I feel really stupid. I don't want to talk to you anymore, right? Don't make them feel stupid. Use words that they're going to understand. Don't be afraid to start off with basic, simple words. And as they're going, oh yeah, I got that, then you can maybe adjust your words a little bit and start using bigger words. And if they start having that blank stare, then you've went to, but your vocabulary has exceeded their understanding, right? So come back down to a level. I always start off with just using simple, basic communication words. I don't know whether someone knows about the brain or not until they start telling me, oh yeah, I know about the corpus callosum. Okay, well then I know I can go into deeper information, okay? Do you know about the amygdala and the pituitary gland, and start talking more technical terms. So otherwise, your brain's like a peanut. You have some gray matter in the center like a peanut, you have some white matter, it's like the chocolate, and you have this corpus or this cortical level on the outside, it's like the candy, and it's gray matter, and very simple terminology to help people understand what the brain's like. You don't have to get really technical with it. So,
Question.
Yes.
We have a product that has gamma oryzanol in it. It's
What?
the only, well, exactly. But it's the only known plant that has that, which levels out your highs and lows.
Oh, okay.
Now, could you use something like that and then explain that?
Yeah.
That's why this product is so good.
Did you know that gamma, whatever, helps you level out your emotions? You could ask that question,
That's
right?
the question.
Right? And they say, what's a gamma guaca waka? And you say it's a grip. Gamma oryzanol, right? And then you start explaining all that. But again, that's a perfect example. That's one word, right? A term that could actually create more interest. But if you started going into a bunch of those words all in the same, then they're going to feel like, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't want to talk to you, right? And they're going to be disinterested because of it. So, but yeah, that's a good
You have
start.
to be careful, but at the same time, it could be something that
Could be a hook.
Yes.
could be.
I feel like
Using it
helps-
correctly could be very powerful, like bit or gamawaka chuku or whatever you just said.
I feel like it gives them a hint
We've
that
heard
you
of
know
that
what
at
you're
European,
talking
someone
about,
else
but
say
it
it right.
explains it to them so they're not feeling stupid.
Yeah. Don't use a bunch of terms that they're not going to understand. But if you throw in one, that could be the hook or something interesting. Well, that's an interesting. What the heck is that, right? Oh well, and then again, use it correctly, but be careful not to use too many acronyms, too many terms that they're not going to understand, and slang words that they're just not going to get. Be careful with filler words. This is a weakness I still work on a lot is ums. Some people have like. Make sure that you're not using a lot of filler words. It drives some people absolute bazonkers, and other people don't even care. But make sure that it creates doubt again. If you're using a lot of ums and likes, it makes people think you don't know what you're talking about. Some people that bothers, but other people, they don't even care. But be careful with your filler words.
That's why athletes are such bad communicators.
They're trying to find their words, okay? But sometimes that's uncertain. And then with understanding how the brain works in communication and auditory processing, a lot of people have auditory processing disorder, which is that inability to get your thoughts out your mouth, and it takes a lot more effort and it's a lot more struggle. And they tend to be more quiet, and they tend to use filler words a lot, and they tend not to say a whole lot. But sometimes just nervousness creates filler words. I had a lady that I was working with who she used like every other word, like black, like up, like, and I'm going, holy cow, you gotta calm down on the likeness, right? Again, sometimes these filler words can be good, but don't watch yourself with those filler words so you don't sound like a rambling idiot. There you go. Okay, any questions with things to avoid? There's probably more. This is just a short list I want you guys to look at and pay attention to when you're putting together your 30-second elevator pitch. So I want to give you some examples that just kind of some things that can help you understand how to put together a 30-second elevator pitch. And again, this is not 30 seconds. Okay, this is a lot shorter. Did you know about 10% of the people control 90% of the money, and the other 90% of the people control the other 10% of the money in the U.S.? So you start off with a question. Get someone interested, right? As a life transformational expert, educator, mentor, and speaker, I help individuals and businesses become one of the 10%. Can I email or text you a link to a free program that can help you become one of the 10% that control 90% of the money?
Yes.
Okay, so what just happened here? I told them what I did. Was it at the beginning?
With that one, I get like lost when you even just read it. And is anybody else feeling that way?
A lot of information.
90% to 10%, like trying to figure out where you're going. You know what I mean?
Yes, and so is this going to work for a logic brain who likes statistics and numbers? A creative brain is going to get lost with this, right?
For me, it would have made perfect
I know,
sense.
It made perfect sense, right?
Yeah, it's probably.
Okay, so again,
I'm just
this
like-
can be very effective depending on the personality.
Actually, but
With ours, I use, did you know 9 out of 10 people are nutritionally deficient? So it's kind of the same.
there's not as many numbers in that one.
Yeah.
Yes, you're using one number, I used a lot, right? Would I use this on someone that's got their hair's colored and they're dressed in lots of bright colors? Would I say this to that person?
No.
I would not use this pitch, right? This pitch I give to someone who's probably more dressed professional, someone who is going to have their hair done more neatly, nicely, kind of done like type of thing, right? Because they're going to be more likely, more logic dominant, okay?
I just imagine myself dressing up that way and not getting this. I might dress up that way one day, but no,
You
you're
have
right.
pink hair?
You're
I
right.
can't see you having pink hair.
Gosh, I want to, but I won't ever.
See, so it's not really you.
Okay, but again, that's where you got to look at your audience, and you got to know your elevator pitch well enough you can adjust it. Okay, this is just an example. So what this does is it creates an interest. Did you know that 10% of the people control 90% of the money in the U.S.? And maybe you stop there, right? If I was talking to someone with pink hair, purple hair, or something that was more obviously creative and wasn't into the statistics, I would probably say, did you know 10% of the people control 90% of the money in the world or in the U.S.?
Yeah, it makes it simpler.
Right?
Yeah,
Then it's a
that's-
simple thing. Does that sound fair to you that 10% of the people control 90% of the money? I mean, does that feel fair? So I changed it.
I like that one better.
How do you feel about only, are you one of those 10%? If you're not one of those 10%, you probably feel pretty crappy right now, don't you? Well, as a life, I wouldn't say that, but but you get in the feeling words, right? Change it around a little bit. Do you know it well enough to change it, okay? And then what I did at the end, I says, hey, can I email you a link to a free, whatever, a free program? Now I've got their contact information. Now I get to follow up. And then you send them the link, and then a couple days later you follow up and say, hey, have you started the program yet? What do you think of the program? Blah, 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 right? And you follow up with them that way. So it gets you the information, their information, so you can follow up with them. It gets them interested, and it gets them thinking, oh my gosh, why only 10% of the people control 9% of the money? What the heck? There's something wrong, right? And this program is going to teach you how to change it, okay? See how that worked with the elevator pitch? Okay, here's another one. Did you know that ADHD not only negatively affects the person, but it affects the family, it affects the classroom, it affects the workplace, and that about 1 in 5 people have ADHD? Well, as a BIT practitioner, certified brain integration practitioner, I can eliminate ADHD in as little as 8 hours. So you don't need medication, you don't need any drugs, and all the symptoms go away. Can I email or send you a link to get a free consultation? Or do you know someone who might be interested in a free consultation? I can send you the link. Okay? So again, you're giving them some statistics, some information. And the reason I use statistics is because I'm more left brain, right? And left brain people find statistics interesting. If they're not left brain, then it might be, have you ever felt the pain of dealing with someone who has ADHD, whether you're a teacher in the classroom, a friend, a coworker? Have you ever dealt with someone and felt the pain of them having ADHD, right? There'd be another startup question. Oh my gosh, my son has ADHD. Oh my gosh, my daughter has ADHD. Oh my gosh, my coworker has ADHD. and everyone's all, and they're gonna relate to that. So depending upon how you want to start off, okay? But find something that's going to get that person to feel what you're feeling, understand what you're saying, get them interested in it.
So it sounds like all of your pitches have a question. So is that what you're kind of suggesting, is that you always have a question in your elevator pitch?
You can. You don't have to, but questions always get people thinking, right? And so to start off with a question may get them thinking. Start off with just a fact, like you said, 1 in 5 people are, 9 in 10 people are nutritionally deficient, right? That's not a question. That's just a flat out statement. Whoa, are you kidding me? And that's going to create some interest. Remember, you have just the first second, you've got to spark interest. And that's a title, a statement, a question, something to get them to go, wait, I want to listen to what you're saying, because everyone is so busy and everyone's so caught up in their own mess that you've got to do something to pull them out of there and say, wait, that's worth listening to, talking to, asking more questions about, finding more out. And so almost everything has a title, a subtitle, and then information, right? Because the title says, wait, this is something I need to pay attention to. Subtitle says, oh, this is something I'm willing to invest more time in. And then then they're willing to read or watch the rest of the video. But you have to have something to really snatch their attention. Questions, statements. That's that surprise we talked about. The hook should have a surprise in it. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know 9 in 10 people were nutritionally deficient. Like that's kind of that hook right at the get-go. Hook them at the beginning, get them interested. So.
For those 5 questions.
Yeah. So, and again, those things we talked about, they don't have to be in order. Like you can put the basic concepts of a 30-second elevator pitch. That list I gave you, that's not the order. You can put them in any order you want to make it effective of what you're doing and who you're talking to. So, another one is, do you know that network marketing is the fastest and easiest way to create residual wealth, but most fail at it?
That's a really good one.
Okay. My network marketing team solved this problem by offering an amazing product and business opportunity, plus a success and wealth education program that helps you succeed in network marketing. Can I email or text you a link to a short video that explains why my team is succeeding? Okay. Would you want to start off this one right here with but most fail with someone who's never done network marketing? But if you know that person's done network marketing, would you want to add that in there? Okay. Because they're going to be interested. Wait a second. Well, yeah, I've done network marketing. I failed at it. Well, my team offers this other program that helps you succeed at it so you don't fail. And so, but again, it depends on who that's where you need to know your information well enough that you can adjust your elevator pitch to fit who you're talking to. If you're going to your hot market and you know your hot market's already done, or it's already tried network marketing or tried a business and failed, how do you want to approach that person?
You tell it different. This is different, but one, any business is just like also an MLM, and just called by different names. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you could ask
Go
them,
with that.
why do you think you failed?
Okay.
Why did network marketing not work for you?
So then you're
Don't
not
avoid
pulling their ear off,
the problem.
you're out.
Resolve the issues, okay?
Well, I think even if people kind of have a negative connotation towards it when you're filling them out and talking to them, then even being like, it sounds like maybe you had a bad experience with network marketing. Share that with me. What happened? Just
Yeah.
so you can.
Really find out why they don't like network marketing. If you don't know why they don't like network marketing, can you resolve their concerns and help them understand why they love network marketing? Ask them. Don't be afraid to say, well, why don't you like network marketing? What didn't you like about it? Why did you fail? Why did you fail is kind of a really bold, be careful with that one.
Why didn't it work out for you?
Why didn't it work out for you? What went wrong in your business?
How do you suck at it so bad?
Why do you suck at network marketing so bad?
Probably don't use that one.
Again, depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking to a personality type that likes things straightforward, right to the point, saying, why did you fail? They're going to appreciate that statement. But if you're talking to a failure and say, why did you fail? I don't know why I failed.
You're mean.
Okay, so just remember who you're talking to, and if you're talking to your warm market, you should know some of those things. Okay, you should know them well enough to kind of sum that.
Can I ask a question really fast?
Yes.
So I had this opportunity, I think 2 days ago, and he saw my car because it says creating a healthy and wealthy world in
Cool.
his call. He asked me about it. He says, "What's on the back of your car?" And I just came out and I said,
Tail light.
"No, no." I thought I did a really good job actually. I said, "It's network marketing and it's a health and wellness company, and I actually have an amazing mentorship that I help people gain wealth from it." But I think before that he asked me, which network marketing business is it?
Yeah.
Does that, do you think that would maybe lead into the fact that he already tried one maybe before? Because I didn't know what to do in that situation. Like, would you assume he tried it and maybe then go with do you know that most people fail at it?
Possibly, yeah. Because, I mean, if he's recognizing that statement on the back of your car is leading into a network marketing business, he knows network marketing well enough to recognize that's a network marketing
Okay.
idea.
So probably kind of assume that he already maybe
He
knows.
already knows it, right? And so,
I
yeah,
could just ask him, you're right.
Have you done, and, yeah, that's what I would do
Network
too.
marketing before?
yeah.
I didn't have much time. My daughter came in, "Mom, I need you," and I'm like, "Oh, kids, get out of here. We're having opportunities. You screwed it over."
No, that's the wrong energy, right?
Oh,
Because as
wow.
soon as you get frustrated with your kid interrupting
I didn't
you,
get frustrated, but I was like, I'm gonna go help my daughter because I don't want them to feel like this is the only thing that matters to me, you know. So I went and did whatever my daughter.
yeah, and that's where you can say, "Excuse me 1 minute, get down to your daughter's level. What, honey? Talk to your daughter, come back up. I'm sorry. Thank you for waiting."
Oh, that would have been better.
Professional, right?
She wanted to show me something, so
Oh,
she was
yeah.
like walking away.
And that's where you can kneel down and talk to your daughter at eye level and
Just a
say,
minute.
"Sweetie, I'm talking to this nice gentleman. Can you give me a minute?" And then you can show me. I'm really excited about what you have to show me. Can it wait just a few minutes? And then
Okay.
talk to the guy.
Good.
And you can even hold her hand or something, or say, "Can you go play for a few minutes and then come get me when I'm done and you can show me." And then that way that individual then sees that you're a great mom and a lot of other aspects about you, right? That you're respectful to him and her. And we talked about, in 2010, we talked about respect and honoring and those attributes and stuff. So,
What is the parenting?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of like talking to any other person about whatever conversation you're getting into. You know, it shouldn't really completely matter if it's with your work or just like for fun with someone. Because there's a point where I'm at work, I'm like, well, if I'm showing them that, you know, you can do this work with your family, I want to be like, oh yeah, go raise my family and not put my family off.
yeah.
So I'm like, if I tell them to wait a minute, I feel like I'm telling them like my family has to wait because I have to work, and
Yeah.
people don't want that. But really, if you're it just, I analyze it as if you were talking to them as if it was just for fun, teaching them, hey, I'm gonna talk to this person for a few minutes, and then we will have our, I can go and see that.
I like that approach. It just shows that you're in control and that your kids are not just
Taking you
running
everywhere.
your life. And that's really what my life has been
Yeah.
the last years. My kids are running my life. And I'm like,
And I think
Unfortunately, most of the world is being ran by children right now, but
anyway, that's kind of a side note. I just wanted to know. I'm really grateful that's a good tip.
As you
Give me a
say
minute,
that,
you know?
I think it shows good managing skills, and it
Yes.
makes me want to be with you more because I feel like you're able to manage
Yeah.
the situation.
And one of your things is, I love network marketing because it allows me to work and make money and be a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad or spend more time with my family. And you just kicked your kids to the curb to talk to them about business. What did your nonverbals just communicate? No, that's not how it really is. You're just saying that, right? And it's part of that, getting your verbals and your nonverbal communication to support what you're trying to tell these people. And being honest about it and learning ways to effectively manage both and do both. So, great examples. Any more questions on your 30-second elevator pitch? Okay. So if you're following the 30-day outline to where you're trying to do all the get ready to have your party or start talking people 30 days after you sign up, you're going to want you're on day 15 through 21 here. So for the next 7 days, you want to perfect your elevator pitches. Create it one for the products. If you offer multiple products, pick a couple products that you really want to focus on if you want to sell product, and create an elevator pitch for those products. Okay, if you don't want to sell products, if you just want to sell and get people to sign up your downline and sell distributors and sell a business and a business partnering program, then learn how to pitch your business and why people should do network marketing with you. okay? If you want to do both, create a pitch for both, for one of your favorite products and then the business side. But remember, you don't teach both in the same meeting. Or if you do, sell it that way. Pitch it that when you come to this meeting, you're going to hear about a great business opportunity and you're going to hear about a great product. Or pitch it as you're going to hear about a great business opportunity, investment opportunity, business partnering program, whatever you want to call it. Pitch it that way, sell it that way, but don't pitch one thing and sell something different. So know it well enough you can change it. Practice until you sound confident and excited about it. The worst thing is when someone comes up to you and they're like, oh, I got this, I started this new thing, like, well, it's kind of like, and you're like going, do you know what you're doing? Why would I want to be a part of something you don't know what you're doing? You've got to be confident, you got to be excited about it. This is amazing. But too much excitement tells you what? If I came in here really excited, oh my gosh, there's this amazing thing, and you're like going, fake? Like you're trying too hard? Again, depends on the personality type. Some people get really, really excited about it. Other people can go, whoa, like, yeah, you just lost me because you're way too excited about it. So that means you're trying to make something, you're trying to sugarcoat poo, okay?
Yes. Oh, no, she can't.
I hate that word so bad, so sorry.
You're trying to sugarcoat feces.
Thank you. Thank you. That sounds better.
That's worse.
If you see Glee, there's a choir TV show, and they're a really good choir, but they thought that they sucked for a while, so then they ended up using hair and moving their hair everywhere to show off how good they were.
Yeah.
Versus their real potential and skill, and it just made them look like that
Horrible.
afterwards.
Yeah, but be confident and excited, but don't be too confident, too excited. But you've really got to have this down really well. Practice it. After we're going to be talking about mastermind meetings next, but you should be going to a weekly mastermind meeting. If someone in your upline is in Transcend, they should be holding weekly mastermind meetings that you're attending. Ask if you can practice presenting to the group. Okay, record yourself and watch yourself as you give this pitch. See yourself from the other person's eyes by recording yourself giving the pitch, and then watch yourself so you can see what do I need to improve on, what looks good, what do I need to change, because watching yourself on video, you learn a lot about yourself, and you can find some things there. If you do present to your group, or if you have another way to kind of pitch your family, your friends, is say, hey, I've started this new business, I'm working on this pitch, can I get some feedback? Can I just practice on you and then you give me some feedback, okay? And that might be that first introduction to what you're doing by practicing your pitch on a friend or family or a neighbor or somebody, right? And it would be the ones that you most likely wouldn't, like someone, like looking for your biggest critics. If you have a neighbor, a friend or family or coworker that absolutely hates network marketing, start with them, because you're going to get the best criticism from that person, right? And so you're going to know, like, oh yeah, you're going to get the best feedback from that person. Don't go try it on someone that's going to be nice. Try it, practice on somebody that's going to really be honest and tell you, I hate network marketing. I don't want anything to do with that, right? Because if you can convince them, if your pitch hooks them, you know you got a solid hook, or a solid pitch. It's going to get a lot of people interested. So, but anyway, yeah, do practice. Watch yourself, correct, try it again, correct, try it again until you feel like you're just really confident, excited, and it's an effective 30-day pitch or 30-second pitch. Any questions?